the things that you're sensitive about or the things that trigger you may most certainly make you to take things personal. Moments that forces us or tempt us to get into taking things personal. When you take it from an angle of what's there to learn, it puts you in a place of reflection rather than blaming or tormenting yourself. But taking things personal will make you front other people's opinions or front their behavior towards you as a priority, that you do not focus on what is relevant or focus on yourself. Hello, welcome. I am Theodora, and here I talk about real life experiences for personal development, grief support, mental health, community building, among other things. Today I'll be talking about not taking things personal. I'll tell you my own experience. I am a farmer, and I have been a farmer the biggest part of my life. So one day I was just back from the field, and I'd taken a dusty road, and I was all covered in dust. And on that fateful day, I saw an old schoolmate. I was so excited to see her. She was smartly dressed with those nice high heels. She was very smart, and she was in a group of very amazing and beautiful women. Unfortunately for me, I was covered in dust. You know, being a farmer, sometimes you do not have the luxury of looking very nice or nice all the time. Of course, we farmers too can look nice, can look good, but not all the time, because many times we have to be working on things. So I saw my classmate, and I think 2 days before, she had sent me a message, and I replied. It was a very nice conversation that we had. So seeing her in person, I was so overjoyed. I actually paid off the motorcycle man who had carried me. I paid him off very fast so that I could be able to meet my friend. So I walked towards my friend, and she did not make any eye contact. I was all smiling. She did not turn. She didn't smile. She kept a straight gaze and bypassed me. I was in shock. I could not believe it, that my own schoolmate, let alone we communicated a very good conversation 2 days back, and here I am, she bypassed me. I could not believe. That day I kept sighing the whole evening, wondering, what happened? What happened? What happened? Such situations could make us take things personal, can't it? But taking things personal will make you front other people's opinions or front their behavior towards you as a priority, that you do not focus on what is relevant or focus on yourself. It is usually draining emotionally, physically, mentally, and yet this is really unnecessary. Another example could be when you text someone and they don't respond. You may feel offended for that. You may even wonder if you are the problem. Have you done something? What is happening? Have they had something? What is happening? You keep wondering. If any of this happens to you, know that you're taking things personal. If they did not respond to your call, maybe they were engaged, maybe they're unwell, maybe they're battling something that they were not able to get back to you. And if none of this happens and they still didn't get back to you, they are entitled to their private reasons. Do not start fitting reasons for them. Avoiding taking things personal makes you have control of your emotions, also gives you ample time to respond. It helps you reinvest your energy wisely on more important areas than worrying about what is not necessary. To avoid taking things personal, it gets down to these 3 things. The first one is not always about me. The second one, what is there to learn? And the third, it's none of my business. About the first one, it's not always about me. When certain undesirable actions happen to you, don't be so quick to blame yourself. For instance, if you greet someone and they do not respond back, it shouldn't bother you. Possibly he or she did not hear. They could be also deep in thought. And if they chose not to respond to you, you have their reasons. Leave it as it is. What is there to learn? Moments that forces us or tempt us to get into taking things personal. When you take it from an angle of what's there to learn, it puts you in a place of reflection rather than blaming or tormenting yourself. You draw from deep and not from outside. You draw lessons of self-improvement rather than brooding and developing resentful feelings. Also, what is there to learn helps you get to know your worth. That you get to know that maybe as Theodora, what are my values? What defines my life? What principles define my life? And anything else that doesn't fall into that category, anything else and anything contrary to these that I have mentioned is out of my focus, is out of my focus range, and does not require my attention. Be slow to jumping into conclusions. It will make you lash out, which may seem satisfying at the moment, but it may not be in the long run. Get back and reflect inside and say, what are the things that trigger me? What are the things that I'm sensitive about? And how can I handle them when they arise? Because the things that you're sensitive about or the things that trigger you may most certainly make you to take things personal when at sometimes you don't have to. And the third part is, it's none of my business to take things personal. This simply means there is a point where you stop worrying, because whatever you do or do not do, there will always be someone who will say the contrary. So work on what you know about yourself, about what your loved ones care about and you care about too. Any other opinion is third party and irrelevant. It shouldn't be relevant at all times. There should be, of course, times that you're like, okay, this I could take as a point of reflection, but it should not be the standard for everything else that you do. Get yourself and your schedule occupied so that you don't have a lot of free time to waste on irrelevant issues like brooding on who did not respond to your greeting, who did not answer your text, who bypassed you at the roadside, who you have your schedule filled and you do not have any extra time for anything that is not important. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next time.